Hi everyone, just wanted to take a moment to talk a little bit about finding the centroid of a triangle given the vertices as coordinates. So as a reminder, the centroid is the point of concurrency between the medians of a triangle. The medians would be the segments that you draw from a vertex to the opposite side's midpoint. All right, so if you want to find the median that goes through A, you would need the midpoint of BC, right? The midpoint of AB would go to C, and AC would go to B. All right, so let's just quickly graph these really and look at this, see if there's anything that jumps out at us. That's my first recommendation to you. Always just take a quick look at what it looks like, and sometimes you can kind of save yourself a lot of time. A lot of times, if you notice right away that it would be like a right triangle, you can make life a lot easier for yourself. All right, and then 3, -1. So this doesn't immediately jump out at me in terms of anything that makes it easier, but that's okay because on a median, we don't necessarily care if the segment, like the side, is horizontal or vertical. We care if the median would be horizontal or vertical, and that would make our life easier. So my first recommendation to you is just going to be find the midpoints, right? It doesn't take very long to find the midpoints, and you can usually save yourself a lot of time, even if it requires you to find all 3 midpoints, if you just pick the easiest ones. So what you're going to want to look for is whether or not the midpoint and the vertex that the segment would go through um, share any coordinates. All right, so let's find we're going to find the midpoints. Okay, so midpoints. All right, so if AB, that would be the 4 plus 4 is 0 over 2 is 0. 2 plus 5 is 7 over 2. Okay, that's fine. BC would be 4 plus 3, which is 7 over 2. 5 minus 1 is 4. Divided by 2 is 2. And AC would be -4 plus 3 is -1. 2 minus 1, I should write that down. -1 divided by 2 is 2, right? -1 divided by 2 is -1/2. 2 minus 1 is 1. 1 divided by 2 is 1/2. Okay, so just looking at these, you're probably looking at it and going, none of these are particularly nice. Well, I will say BC, the median involving the midpoint of BC, is going to go to the vertex A. And we know that they have the same y coordinate. So when they share a y coordinate, that's a horizontal line. All right? Because it's a horizontal line, slope is 0, you just write y equals and then whatever the y coordinate is. So that is one you're definitely going to want to pick. Okay? So it is a horizontal line, so it's just y equals whatever the y coordinate is. Okay? And now you already know what the y coordinate will be of your centroid. Now, looking at the other two, do they provide me any sort of initial help here? So this what I would have to deal with B. So I would have a 4, 5, and then a -1/2 and a 1/2. 0, 7/2, and then 3, -1. I got a 0 in there. I'll go with that one. Why not? There's nothing inherently making me pick this one versus this one, other than the fact that this is a 0. It's your call at this point. These two are pretty much equally difficult. So what am I going to do? I have this point, and I know it's going to go through C. So I have 2 points, right? So I need to find the equation of my line through these 2 points, right? So if I just gave you 2 points, you would know how to find the equation of a line. You would find the slope. So you're changing y. So -1 minus 7/2 over 3 minus 0. Lovely, right? So this is -2 over 2 minus 7/2 over 3. -9/2 over 3. I'm going to simplify this. I don't like having a fraction or a fraction. So that essentially is the same as that, right? So negative 9 over 6, well, it's just negative 3 halves. Okay, so this is negative 3 halves as my slope. And now to find the equation of my line, I can do one of two things. I can either plug it into this, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So in general, that's what I will use, okay? That will be in general what I do. That would be the point slope form. I have a point, I have a slope, plug it in. However, in this case, I'm not going to do that. And the reason I'm not going to do that is because this right here is already on the y-axis. So this is my y-intercept, all right? So it's actually for the best that I picked this one because this is a y-intercept, right? If one of your points is already the y-intercept, pick it, right? Now you already know you're in your, y equals mx plus b. I have my m, here's my b, all right? So I have y equals negative 3 halves x plus 7 halves. All right, I know y is equal to 2, so I'm going to plug that in. All right, I'm going to do that over here. I ran out of room. 2 equals negative 3 halves, negative x plus 7 halves. So I'm going to multiply everything by 2, and I get 4 equals negative 3x plus 7 minus 7 minus 3 equals negative 3x, and x will equal 1. So the point of my centroid is going to be 1, 2. Okay? So you need to be careful. Pick the ones that'll make things easier for you. I could have picked this one. That's fine. There wouldn't have been a problem with that. But then when you found the slope, you would have had two fractions in a fraction. And then you still would have needed to use the point slope form. You pick this one. This is your y-intercept. I find the slope. Bam, I'm done. All right? So the best thing I can tell you on these is do your best to work smarter, not harder. Okay? Let me know if you have any questions. All right? Have a great day.